Welcome to this episode of What's Happening in Waupaca. I am Joni Kern. Today we're going to be talking about the up-and-coming Waupaca Drug Court. And we have as guests, we have Bill Lipschultz, we have Kay Thompson, and we have the Waupaca Police Chief, Brian Hosel. Welcome to all of you for being here today.
Thank you.
Now, I've been listening to talk about the drug court for quite a while, and this is something that actually personally excites me because I think it's taking an entirely different route to some of our problems here. So first, Kay, why don't you tell me what the drug court is?
Well, drug court is a system of accountability that's run through the county for persons who have committed a crime, and they can have the jail sentence stayed by being accepted into drug court.
And that's a really good idea. Bill, how does that exactly work?
There are certain parameters to get people into the drug court, to be admitted into the drug court. And the drug court committee meets every week with these individuals, and there are different stages in the drug court that they have to go through, and it takes about 18 months, 15 to 18 months to complete the whole system. And we know that there might be some failures, relapses, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to jail. We work with them. They may drop down a level, and they're subject to random urinalysis and different things, and they have to work 40 hours a week. They have to do community service 40 hours a week. They have to meet with their therapist every week. So there's accountability to the drug court, and there's also accountability to the other people that are in the drug court.
So what it helps is it helps people who have taken a wrong turn in life try to get back on the right track, and you have professionals there to help you along the way instead of just trying to do it yourself.
It's a means of recovery,
pretty much.
Actually. It's a recovery system for them.
Okay, so is this all or mostly about drug recovery?
Yes, it's evidence-based and it's proven to work, and that's why probably all but 5 counties in the state of Wisconsin have a drug court now. So it is about drugs, yes.
Okay, so Chief Hosel, tell me why this started.
Well, the main reason why this started is a lot of people have gotten involved with the opiates, and they don't have anything. Once they became addicted, they had no place to go to help with their addiction. So what ended up happening was they'd commit some crimes, they would go to jail, they'd be there for a period of time, they'd get clean. They didn't have anything when they came out, and they would commit more crimes. They needed help. And one of the reasons, we were one of the last counties to get a drug court, and just sending people to jail isn't the answer to help. They actually need recovery, they need help.
They do. Well, they need a support system.
They do.
Because it's one thing to get straight in a jail cell. It's an entirely different thing to stay straight on the streets.
Correct.
And that's a learning process. You need to learn how to do that.
Right.
So you and I have actually talked a couple of times about the drug problem in Waupaca, because for those of me that just hang out at home with my animals, my horses, and I'm pretty quiet, for me to hear about the drug problem, specifically heroin, and to read the newspaper about all of the busts that are going on, it just blows my mind. When I was a kid, heroin was around, but that certainly wasn't the drug of choice. And heroin is far more dangerous than the marijuana that was around when I was a kid.
Well, and one of the things they're doing now is they're mixing the heroin with fentanyl, and fentanyl is like 100 times stronger than just the regular heroin. So they're putting that inside the heroin also when they're shooting up, which is causing a lot more overdoses.
So it sounds like if they're going with a far stronger drug, that you have the risk of a whole lot more drug overdose deaths.
Correct. We do. And we've had instances where we've had people overdose, they've been given Narcan, and the next day they're back out in the street, and we find out that they're buying heroin again.
Sure. So in order to get to the drug court, in order to get involved with that, you need to have been arrested for something.
Correct.
Correct. So, I mean, someone like me can't just walk in and say, I have a problem, I need some help. I need to have gone through the legal system.
Yes.
Pretty much, right? Okay. But that really, I mean, it shouldn't be about not having enough people involved with that system, because there are quite a few drug arrests in Waupaca, isn't that true?
In the whole county there is.
In the whole county. And this is for the entire county? This is the drug court K for the entire county of Waupaca?
It is for the entire county.
Now you have judges involved, do you have county attorneys involved, you have the entire range of people inside the court system involved in this?
There will be an 8-court drug team, and that includes Judge Vicki Klussman is the main judge, and Judge Ray Huber will back her up.
Okay.
We also have a representative from probation and parole and law enforcement, Brian, the district attorney's office. We have a new drug court coordinator that has just been hired. And who did I miss? Brian, prosecutors?
Public defender.
Public defenders. So
Good.
8 people.
That's terrific. Now, I also know that the drug court is not up and running yet. So, Bill, tell me, is there a timeline to doing this, or is there still a lot of things that need to be worked out before you know when it's going to be up and running?
I can tell a little bit about it. I believe the coordinator's coming on board May 15th, and he's going to have to organize the whole system. There's a training session that they can talk more about that they've been involved in, and everybody on the drug court team will be going through that. I think initially we wanted to start on July 1st, but I think it's going to be pushed back somewhat, correct?
That's what we're looking at.
You know, the best just guess is late summer, early fall.
Well, and we all know that, you know, you set a date hoping to get something up and running. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's written in stone, just because things happen along the way.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way that works. So one of you, and I'm going to leave this open for all 3 of you, tell me what you want to accomplish with the drug court. What is the end result? When you looked at forming the drug court for Waupaca County, you certainly looked at what was happening around the rest of the state. So when you set a goal for yourself, what is that?
Well, I think the biggest thing for that is the people that get involved, that they get back to a normal life. Using drugs on a daily basis is not a normal life. And there was, the 3 of us were involved where we went down to a different county and we observed their drug court, and as to how long people have been involved and how they held each other accountable. And what we're finding is that they're out working full-time jobs, which they never had before. They're being held accountable. They're meeting with a person maybe for a drug screen a few times a week, and they get back to a normal life where they can get back into society and start functioning normal again, and they can put everything behind them.
What is their success rate with people staying straight once they've been through drug court?
Drug court success rate is anywhere between 80 and 90%.
That high?
Yeah.
Because with something like heroin, everything I know is that it is almost impossible to get yourself off that drug. It's just that addictive and that difficult to straighten up from. I mean, and if you look at the statistics, if you're an alcoholic, the chances of you getting sober are 1 out of 10. So if heroin is worse than that, if they're having an 80 to 90% success rate, that is incredible.
But this drug court will not be just for heroin. It will be for any type
Any
of
drug,
drug.
so it could be alcohol as well.
And it works because it totally rehabilitates the person. It works with them. The random urinalysis show if they've been using, and they get corrected right away. They get the job training. It's the best thing for success.
And the other part of it is we're not taking low-risk offenders. These are high-risk offenders are the ones that go into this court system.
Okay, that's good, right?
That's
Yes.
I mean,
good.
that's good. So, Bill, you and I were talking a little bit before we started taping this about recidivism and what they do if someone slips and they end up back in there. So tell me a little bit about that, because are they just kicked off? Well, you know, you blew it, so we don't want to have you here anymore?
No, they're all held accountable, and even, you know, people that are alcoholics in the program may slip up. In the drug court, we expect them to slip up too, but they're held accountable. And there's a judge, like Vicki Klessman will be the judge here. The drug court committee meets before they meet with the individuals in the drug court. And there's one particular person that we saw that had failed urinalysis for, I don't know, 2-3 times, and he kept denying, you know, that he was using, and they knew he was. So they said they were going to approach the guy. If he admitted it, he'd stay in the drug court, in the program. He'd drop down a level. If he didn't, he was going back to jail. Because they still have this jail sentence over their head if they keep on failing. He admitted that he did use drugs. He started crying, and he turned to the other people that are in the drug court, the other participants, and he apologized to them too. So like Kay said, or Brian said, they're accountable not only to the drug court team, they're accountable to each other.
That is, I mean, that's fabulous. That it's because it's built to help people every step of the way, and it's built to provide them the support that they need. So, are there people involved with the drug court who are recovering, who personally and intimately know what it's like to try to recover from a drug problem of some sort?
I guess we couldn't say that for certain because it's really not a question that's ever come up.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it just kind of goes to show to have people involved with it that have been there is always helpful. But to have people that really care, and I know you do, Brian, you and I have talked several times on this show, to have people like you, Bill, and UK that care so much about helping people turn their lives around instead of just spending the rest of their lives in jail or overdosing and dying that's fabulous. Good for you. Thanks for doing that for Waupaca County and helping people out here.
Thank you.
We will talk. I want to have you guys back when this thing is up and running because I want to hear how it's going and I want to hear about what you're doing and how it's working with the County of Waupaca. Is that a good thing to do?
It's going to be awesome.
It is, from what I have heard,
Yeah.
It is going to be magnificent,
Yeah.
Kay. So thanks, Kay. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Chief. Thanks for joining us for this episode of What's Happening Waupaca. I am Joni Kern, and we'll see you next time.